Alright, hello everyone, it's Mystic Juicer back with some more Yomi action. We've got Southpaw Hare versus Rinzler in 19XX. Can't remember if this is winners or losers bracket. I think it's in losers bracket. I think Rinzler lost to Fluffiness. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, so whoever loses here is going to be eliminated. It is double elim. Character band format, so you can't play De Grey, you can't play Trock, Zane, or Geiger, which is not really relevant for Rinzler. We are going to see Rook from him, and it's really up to Southpaw Hare how mean he wants to be. So he could go straight to his BBB, or he might start with Rook, or he's been playing Gloria as well. So we'll see. We'll see what we get. How cruel is Southpaw Hare willing to be? Ooh, okay. Gwen versus Rook. So I think this is generally Rook favored. Okay. That's how it's going to be. Rinzler is pretty aggro when it comes to his Rook play. Yeah, likes his gold bursts a lot. I think generally more correct to use jokers as blue burst, but I mean, I'm not a very good Rook player, so who knows? Who knows where the truth lies? We'll see how it works out in the matchup. Now, getting double ace very early against Gwen is pretty good. It can discourage her from pressing buttons. Maybe she will block a little bit more often than she ordinarily would, which nicely sets up for Checkmate Buster, but also nicely stalls the game. And the longer the game goes, the less Gwen is having a good time. Okay, nice jack. Straight into the slap chop. Jack 10. 16 damage in this matchup. So not too bad. A nice bit of a life lead going. Southpaw Hare is rapidly getting to his comfortable zone where he's got a ton of cards in hand. Sitting at 10 right now. Ooh, gets tossed. Unfortunately, loses a 10 block, which would be very handy for him. Powers up for 2 aces. My suspicion is this is a block setup. Southpaw Hare perhaps tempting Rinzler to play double ace here to outspeed the known aces on his part. Okay, hits him with the 2. The 4 attack. 4 attack's interesting. It means that Rock Armor is not going to have as big a payoff as it could have had in this instance. So he's going to take 30 damage, and then the most he's going to be able to trade in here is 18, which is still a fair amount. So two-thirds trade. See if he's got it. If he's willing to spend Queen plus or Jack 10. Could go for 4, 5, 6. No, okay, just goes for 14. Yeah, I guess that's fair. 6 cards in hand, 2 of them known aces, so he's on block, throw, AA at the moment. Doubling Gwen's hit points. See where things go from here. So the thing that Gwen has that makes her kind of a nightmare for Rook is her starter Jack is really effective at shutting down Rock Armor attempts. So Rock Armor is a little bit less real in this matchup than it might otherwise be. Okay, activates the 7 throw. Correctly finds Rinzler blocking. Okay, is going to go in with a combo. Wow, oh wow. Yeah, that was all 4 aces in hand. So nearly max damage there off the throw. Very even life totals. All 4 aces now in the discard, though, for Southpaw. Okay, block, block. Southpaw Hare playing very soft to Checkmate Buster if Rinzler happens to have it. But even with very early Gold Burst, essentially very early Gold Burst, unless you already have the other 2 aces in your opening hand, is going to reduce the odds that you're just going to draw into your aces. So I don't know if it works out to be more or less effective in terms of getting you to 4 aces naturally. Well, semi-naturally. You know, wait until you have both of them and then hope for a game state where your Gold Burst is going to be particularly effective. Oh! The combat's so nice, he did it twice. That should be 3 out of 4 10s in the discard now. Yeah. Single ace recovered. 2 aces recovered. Going fairly low on throws now. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 throws left, although, I mean, with 6 throws, you can definitely find that much damage, especially with 1 Joker gone. Okay. This could be big. I mean, Southpaw Hare is going to get to do a fair amount of damage here. Yeah. Lots of damage. So 24 plus an ace, 32. Yeah, there we go. Oh, plus 2 aces. Oh my god. Yeah, 40 damage. Good lord. That is a lot. Definitely more than you want to take. Still rock armor here. We're pretty much committed. This is the last rock armor of the game. Are going to get... Oh, okay. It doesn't have the queen or jack follow-up. Which is unfortunate. If he had queen or jack follow-up there, he would have the threat of AA for lethal here. But as he does not, it can be tricky. So we're in a special block stare down here. Rook definitely wants a special block if he can. Doesn't seem like he has it. This is where that low number of throws can come back to bite Southpaw Hare if he doesn't have one in hand. Okay. Steadfastly blocking is Rinzler. 2 queens in the discard. We've got how many throws remaining? 1, 2, 3, 4 throws. I mean, any one is going to do it, so you can't count on him not having it. But low odds to have it at any given point. Ooh! Second Gold Burst. I mean, that one makes a lot of sense. He just picks up the 1. All right, here we go. If Southpaw Hare has a queen, expect it to come out now. Jokers are also very tempting at this stage. Fair amount of... Actually, no. Almost no dodges left as well. 2, 3, 4, 5 dodges. 1, 2, 3, 4 throws. Nice, good blocks. We're now in double ace is lethal range. Any lost combat on Rinzler's part is going to spell disaster, though. Oh, unfortunate. Yeah, queen comes out. Gets him. Had the other joker. All right, pretty good start for the set. See how Rinzler adjusts. Yeah, I think first to 4 is my favorite format. You really get a chance to breathe in the matchups that you want to play that you end up playing. Oh, the big 10 attack coming out first turn. 10 Jack 10, the classic. Yeah, that is a significant portion of Gwen's hit points there. 5-card Rook, though. Are we going to see a counter throw from Rinzler this turn? That's the question. Ooh, steadfast block. Okay. Counter throw wouldn't have been punished all that badly by Queen. With a 7-card hand, or I guess it would have been, yeah, it would have been an 8-card hand. Gwen's not going to deal a tremendous amount of damage, even if she hits you with big starter. So not a bad idea to start putting in some throws here. Yeah. Gwen's really got to decide if she wants to attack into a Rook that wants to block anyway, or if she's going to go for some riskier throws, especially considering she's probably not going to get a tremendous amount of damage off of anything she does in that game state. Okay, got a little impatient with the throws, going to pay for it with quite a bit of hit points here. No face down. Wants to preserve all of his cards. Okay, 25 damage for, that was what, 6 cards or so? Pretty good exchange, I think. Gwen's going to be back at a 7-card hand, which again, if a big combo comes out here, odds are good it's going to set her back a fair amount. Okay, Stonewall comes out, 8 damage. I think generally, I mean, Stonewall is nice in that it does deal very, very well with Jack Starter, but for any other exchange, ooh, oh, you hate to see that happen. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not incorrect. Generally you're going to want to block with 3s. They deal 7 damage, which is essentially as much as the Stonewall is going to do in most situations. They also get you advantage time on the next turn. So only really in the late game where a single ace might get played to deal with rock armor attempts is where your 5s really shine. So this is a matchup where no, sometimes you got to 10 throw somebody, you know? You definitely sometimes need to 10 throw. You need to Q throw sometimes too. That thing is that thing is 8.4 speed. That's what it's approximately. Ooh, nice. Yeah, Queen attack definitely does some good damage, some good work in this matchup. 16 damage, single pump. Looking good. Just has to not eat a huge combo in the next couple turns. Okay. Again, a little bit surprised to see the Joker played as a gold burst here. Generally, because Gwen, so much of her damage is sits on behind her starters. Like, her starters don't deal a tremendous amount of damage. The only ones that do, again, is the Jack, and in that case, if you get hit by it, you don't get to play the Joker anyway. Oh, and that's it. That's just it. It's over. Closing it out strong, taking only essentially one big Gwen combo to close out that game. All right, will we see Southpaw switch? That is the question. Or is he going to stick in Gwen versus Rook? Par for the course. You'll say that again. All right, what shall we see? Are we going to see the robot? Yep. Okay. Immediately switches to the robot. Southpaw Hare wants to live in this tournament. All right. Let's see if Rinzler has adapted to deal with the robot. Ooh. Okay. Bold start. Is going to potentially be able to get some damage in early here. See if Southpaw Hare has anything he wants to tack on the end of that. Generally, this is a very good one combat. No real reason to tack anything on. If you've got a jack, if you've got an ace, you definitely toss it in there. You probably keep a queen unless you've got another one, because you are expecting. Essentially, if you play a queen on this next turn, you are basically guaranteed to stay at range. The only way you immediately lose range and set yourself up to a potentially bad position is if you play the queen and then immediately get gold bursted. Okay, so far this is looking very good for Rinzler, actually. You love to see a non-face card show up on the first range turn. And you're basically hoping that your opponent is stuck in that kind of awkward, non-good value having hand for as long as possible, so you can get a big hand, start converting your stuff into aces, and then get out of range and start doing some work. Yeah, steadfast blocking. I like this. Southpaw Hare's found a jack, so that doesn't really change your calculus at all. It does the exact same amount of damage that a normal would. And in this matchup, since you are playing against a character with defensive mastery, you're not drawing any cards anyway. Ooh, that's an unfortunate exchange there. Pardon my iTunes load. Yeah, very unfortunate exchange there, getting undercut with the normals. Rinzler looking to punish somebody. If Southpaw Hare was just willing to play Jack over and over again, he would have gotten out there. Does have an 11 card hand though, can start doing potentially trading rock armor attempts. Although with Southpaw Hare having the Jack, that does shut rock armor down if he chooses simply to let the Jack play and not follow it up. Ooh. Rinzler doing a little bit too much right now. He doesn't really need to be active. Southpaw Hare has not yet indicated that he has a king or a queen, which are the really troublesome cards. King because it prevents you from just sitting back and blocking and getting a huge hand and then escaping. And queen because that really punishes your ability to sit back and block as well. 13 damage is just enough damage that blocking your way out through it to a large hand is problematic. Okay, is going to get out with rock armor. Only an 8-card hand to Southpaw Hare's 7, or 9 to 7, I guess. Not the worst, but also not great. We have 2 aces in the discard, which is okay. That means that if Rinzler has AA, he's got the dominant speed attack in the matchup. He's probably able to play a Jack, Queen, King range. And yeah, so you're basically at lower health, but you have a better developed, in theory, a better developed hand than you ordinarily would. And you have the dominant speed attack with AA. Potentially you're able to get Checkmate Buster off of that fact because your opponent is expecting you to play fairly respectfully. Checkmate Buster is really a Checkmate Buster in this matchup. Like, you can... It's the secret sauce that allows you to potentially steal some matches. If that had been Checkmate Buster there, for instance, we'd have 30 hit points versus 40, fairly undeveloped hands on both sides after it. And it's kind of a scramble to finish, for each player to finish the other. Having that particular exchange is really unfortunate. Yeah, but unfortunately this is going to set range, so you don't even get to escape range by special blocking. So he does get a turn where his stuff is potentially able to tie against 1.0 speed normals, so he can get out that way by wasting a Jack or a Queen. I say wasting because, again, you're out, but look at the hand sizes. Your opponent is going to have a higher hand size than you. He's going to be more easily able to get aces than you are. So it can be Oh man, you really hate to see that kind of thing happen to a man. The wake up king throw on 3 block turn is really unfortunate. Rinzler looking to end range by double blocking. This is nearly guaranteed to be a queen here, unless it is a dodge. So the only real counterplay that Rook has here is either ace-ace or gold burst to beat the kind of level 0 queen, because it beats all blocks, including special blocks. And then, yeah, the BBB player can choose just dodge into 16 damage or an 11 damage throw, either way. Okay, Rinzler looking to punish a king there, takes 16. He's potentially going to rock armor his way out. He's going to be at 4 cards, so all Southpaw Hare has to do is not get hit by Gold Burst on this next turn, and then not get hit by Checkmate Buster on the next turn. And then, is there any jokers left? Yeah, and then not get hit by another Gold Burst into AA for lethal. Oh, actually, he needs to do 2 additional damage, so, you know, get chipped out with a jack or something. Okay, sets overdrive, so he's able to dodge into king or just raw king to set range. And then he can also play, if he's got a jack left, he can play a move that essentially has to be blocked, or it will defeat any throws or attacks that are leveled at it. And then he can just combo into queen for massive damage. Which shall it be? Single ace. Okay, Rinzler escapes with his life, takes 2 chip damage, and is relatively happy with that exchange. He is still super duper duper dead though, unless a very, very specific series of moves happens. But yeah, it will take a critical error on Southpaw Hare's part here to lose this game. Actually, a series of critical errors. Even this doesn't count. This is insufficiently card efficient to really matter all that much. Okay, he hasn't even got him to 50. If he was at 50, now it would take 2 critical errors. Again, getting hit by Gold Burst and then getting hit by Checkmate Buster. Hey, I would love to see it. I would absolutely love to see it. Always going to root for Rook in this matchup. But yeah, it's going to be tough. Okay, nice. Sinks a 3 throw. The Hail Mary throw, successfully gribbling BBB to the ground. That could push Southpaw Hare to think, oh, okay, well, you're being really, really aggressive and really, really risky. I might as well go and stick a limb out here, walk into a Gold Burst here, and then we've got a match. Ooh, that's probably going to do it. We haven't seen a Joker come out yet, but it is going to take a Joker here. No, that's going to be it. He's got the queen. Yep. There we are. Okay, game 3 goes to Southpaw Hare. Will we see a character switch from Rinzler, or is he going to stick in the matchup? This is the matchup that pretty much guarantees that there are no Rook mains active in Yomi. Okay. My statement, Rinzler is the exception that proves the rule so far. So far. Okay, let's see if he can adapt. Ooh, immediate ace-ace on turn 1. Unfortunately walks into a block there. Cheeky ace-ace. Yeah, BBB has a tremendous amount of counterplay to the obvious counterplay of Rook just playing face cards and aces in the early game. Which is just sit back and block, because odds are good that you're only going to take like 30 damage from kings, and then everything else is going to be normal throws. So You know, if you die to normal throws and kings, then something has gone dreadfully, dreadfully wrong in that game. So you can afford to go low health in the early game to try to exhaust the rook player of cards. And once those cards are gone, there's no way of rook getting them back except for the aces. Even those are in fairly limited supply. And then it is curtains. Ooh, there we go. Nice. Sinking 15 damage. So yeah, this is the typical kind of play that rook needs to engage in. His kings are going to defeat everything that BBB is going to play that sets range, except for sixes. Notably, he does not have a 5 attack, so it is really his only normal that beats kings. And yes, all the other face cards. So queen, jack, and this is a good start. At some point, he's going to guess wrong or need to block or something. And then he's going to be put to range. And then his goal in this game is going to be to try to amass a good enough hand that he can escape range and then leverage that life lead that he has into an eventual victory once he escapes. Even that is quite difficult to do, though. Oh, he's managing it, though. I mean, one way to do it is just never to go to range at all. That is definitely helpful. Yeah, it is not over until it is over. This is definitely still a winnable game for the BBB player. It's not an even odds game that he can win, but it is still very much winnable. If he can ever get to range, his odds are going to improve very, very drastically. Rook is at 4 cards, so very dangerous spot for him to be in. Okay, just gets normal throw. This is actually totally fine for Rinzler. He's happy to just take a bunch of damage. And Southpaw Hare spending jacks and sixes out of his hand. That's very curious. The jack is very good in neutral. It shuts down everything except Rinzler's rook's double A and jack. And and the 6 is very good at stopping all normal throws. It's fairly good at stopping normals in general. Ooh, I really wish that Rinzler had found a 10 with rock armor capabilities. On a 4-card hand, it's a lot to hope for. But yeah, this is going to very much chew into Rinzler's life lead. So he's going to go to range. Southpaw Hare is on very low cards as well. But this is where the match can be lost. If Southpaw Hare still has a queen, he's only 3 successful queens away from taking the match. Okay, manages to get out. That is good. But again, so few cards that are now effective. Probably doesn't have AA. Very low odds that he has a king. Hopefully has a jack, but he needs a jack and a 7 at least. Oh my god, disgusting. And yeah, now unless he has a gold burst, this is checkmate. He needs gold burst or ace-ace to beat Southpaw Hare just playing the queen that he has in hand. And there it is. Or sorry, he also could have won with a 5. That's true. That's true. He could have won with a 5. But there you go. See, as I said, 84 hit point Rook versus 9 hit point BBB, and it was not enough. Granted, that was 84 hit points and 4 cards, so very, very limited options. Rinzler definitely at the mercy of his deck to deliver the cards he needed at that point. Nice. I like the undeterred 2-throw opening. Also a good way of disguising the value of your hand. So I was like, oh, okay, he two threw. Well, if he was going to throw, he would throw with king. King is the more effective throw in the matchup. You definitely prefer to do that as it defeats all normals except for 6. So, probably a pretty good indicator that he doesn't have that. Therefore, I can go back to blocking. Sets up a good, king follow-up for rook. And Southpaw Hare thinking along those lines, going, I don't know. You seem crazy enough that you would two throw and then have the king anyway. I've had the king the whole time. Nice 4 undercut. 4 attack, very valuable in this matchup. 5 attack, in fact, also very valuable. Okay, no huge cards, it seems, in Rinzler's hand at the moment, but he's keeping his hand fairly healthy. 8 cards in hand is pretty good. There's the king. Sets him down to 40. Half of his hit points gone. Nearly halfway, actually exactly halfway there. And again, working on a nice life lead at the moment. Second gold burst, because why not? All right, we have all the aces we could ever want. He's in range. Now, Rinzler has been playing plenty of immediate AA after this. Southpaw Hare, though, going, I don't know. You've been playing AA a little too often. I think you're probably going to checkmate buster me. I'll go for a big duff. Make you regret that. Eat some teeth. Just 2 throws the man. That could have been 50, but I don't disagree with the with the choice. Holding on to AA now is very important to escape range. So we shall see what we shall see. Gold burst is very tempting here if he's got it. Oh no, Rinzler, why? Rinzler, why? Southpaw Hare going, pumping his fist furiously right now, or just nodding contentedly to himself, going, yeah. I thought you might. Okay. Yep, choice was made. All right. Get that ace back in hand. We can go for some normal confirms. I'm suspecting from Southpaw Hare that we're going to see a king throw here. I would still like to see Rinzler block this, just in case he doesn't. Yeah. Okay, gets the dodge off. We'll get to see what his hand state is like. Okay, he does have the king throw. This can be a setup for a normal or a setup for a queen. Both of those would be fairly effective here. Punish a big limb. Well, there's the big limb. We are out of range. Back in neutral. We do have to contend with single ace, though. With all aces in the discard and both jokers in the discard, that is the fastest move currently available to both players. So see how Rinzler reacts to this. He has lethal only off of rock armored 10. Or 567. Actually, 567. No, 567 is not quite lethal. Does get him a valuable ace, though. And does put Southpaw Hare to 2. So a special block will do it. Any successful special block will do it. Any throw, obviously, will do it. And any rock armor attempt or any chip. I think queens also deal 2 chip, right? Oh, okay. Not a bad exchange. No, just 1 chip. That's silly and bad. And I have a quibble about that. Queen attack should definitely deal 2 chip. Okay, so that is the single known ace. So we're hoping he doesn't have any more of those. There we go. Goes for the chip out victory, catches a king, and takes a win in the matchup. Oh yeah. 68 hit points remaining. Good stuff. Got to do that 2 more times. Or if Southpaw Hare is not feeling that confident, never mind. So maybe if he loses another match, he may switch out of this, but I would definitely stay in it. No reason not to. Just chalk the last game up to a bad series of rolls. Didn't go your way. And start the new one fresh. Okay, spends a dodge first turn. This is interesting. I think this is, well, yeah, okay, yeah, it's an odd one for me. Goes down 3 cards. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I think I would just play either single A or single A twice or double A at some point later in the game. Now you are low on cards. Maybe a little bit more prone to blocking when you ordinarily wouldn't. Definitely sets up Rinzler with a slight advantage in the early game here. Okay. Third ace. All right. We see you. Evens up the life totals. Still not a bad exchange. Rinzler going in with the 7th throw there. Again, kind of implying that he doesn't have that great of a hand. Now, with the single 8 out of his hand, though, I don't know that Southpaw Hare ever goes for a normal throw, which is unfortunate from this position. You would love to have a... too bad, wrong side. You would love to have a BBB that is willing to normal throw a bit more often. Generally, the less that BBB needs to throw, the higher his win chance is going to be. You're going to see more throws in the late game when he has a high hand size and some queens in hand that he no longer needs to win the game when he goes to range because he's got extras, or he just doesn't need them because he can close things out with normal chip. Okay, there we see the king. So BBB is going to get to start building a hand here as he recovers his face cards every turn. Rinzler's got to start making a call about whether he wants to duff a king or potentially eat a queen. Nice block by Rinzler, steadfast. Getting rid of a couple of dodges here. Dodges setting up an unlosable combat for BBB at range. Best that can happen is that you tie him by blocking, unless you are another BBB, in which case you actually get to throw. Still, Rinzler in a pretty good spot here. He's building up a bit of a hand. Doesn't look like Southpaw Hare's found a queen yet. Ooh, okay. At least he's spending dodges here, so his hand's not building all that fast. And he's dodging into king, which sets up knockdown turns, but at least is only 8 damage at a time rather than 13. So he's not speeding ahead in terms of the life lead that he's got. Okay, scary turn here where cross up into ace or just king throw is very powerful. If I've got a gold burst, I probably play it here as Rinzler. Good blocks, blocking correctly on the low probability 3. The only odd normal that BBB has. Gets away with just 2 chip damage, gets an additional card. Ooh, Southpaw Hare really nicely playing this block game at range. Getting 2 successful blocks off so far. Every block does give Rook the opportunity to just block his way out. There we go. Gold Burst, the canonical range escape. Gold Burst into 2 aces into potential pressure. We've got 2 aces in the discard, 1 known ace in hand. So it is likely that Rinzler has the dominant speed attack with ace-ace. The thing he's really got to worry about is jokers, gold bursts here. That can very, very quickly turn the tide. See how things go. Yeah, there's the gold burst. He at least doesn't lose ace-ace to it, which is, things could be worse. That would be the worst possible exchange. Actually, the worst possible exchange would be checkmate buster into that gold burst. So this is a couple of different ranks lower than the worst possible outcome. Still not ideal though, because Southpaw Hare now does have the dominant speed attack. Nice king, undaunted. Got to push buttons sometimes when you're strictly outclassed. 45 hit points remain on Southpaw Hare. I think this turn is the turn that Southpaw Hare goes for an attack. He is now at sub 50 hit points. Rinzler has 2 known aces in hand. Could have the other 2. He has a fair amount of his deck in his hand right now. So you probably take this opportunity not to take a risk. Defer your risk taking to the next turn. So I think double ace or single ace here is very smart. Yeah, there's the double ace. It's going to convert into at least 21. Could tack on an additional 1. Chooses not to. Okay. Okay, there we go. Yeah, immediately powers up for another ace. So we have confirmed AA in hand again for Southpaw Hare. Rinzler at 29 hit points. At this point, it is all AA, checkmate, 5 block mix-up on Rook's part. Because he needs the 5 block to be able to beat the ace-ace play from Southpaw Hare for BBB. He needs checkmate buster to kind of force the attacks. Ooh, that's going to be dodge into 21. Oh, okay. Dodge into 11 and knockdown. Southpaw Hare can now option select both checkmate buster and 5 block with an even attack. So his mix-up is essentially even attack or AA here. Those are the 2 kind of strictly best, safest options he can play. Ooh. That's not lethal because the most he can combo this into is 15 with queens. But it will put Rinzler at 1 hit point. Yeah, there we go. So Rinzler is going to rock armor as hard as he possibly can, get as much damage as he can. So this would be, what, 21 if he's got queen? That's too bad. Puts him at 30, which unfortunately means he needs to escape range and then win combat twice. Or, confuse Southpaw Hare into getting checkmate bustered. Dodge is very strong for Southpaw Hare here. Basically, if I'm Southpaw Hare, I'm probably dodging until I run out of dodges, and then I play a normal. Or I mix in a normal here and there. But basically, every dodge he has in hand is a dice roll for did Rinzler make a mistake. Ooh! Rinzler gets out with the block, does lose the entangling vines, but that is not the worst thing that could happen. Powers up more entangling vines for ace. That was from the deck. Okay, so he's got at least 3 aces in hand. threatening the checkmate buster. If I'm Southpaw Hare, I probably play a normal. I'm willing to get aced here if I prevent checkmate buster. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I think that was a good spot for a 5 block, actually, because he'd already powered up so many 3s and played some. But yeah, not bad at all. Kudos to Rinzler for taking a game in this matchup. That's really, really well done. Congrats to Southpaw Hare for taking the win, 4-2, and moving on, eliminating Rinzler. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the match, and until next time, enjoy yourselves some Yomi. Cheers.